Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Chiefs TV. We promised you this during the girls' basketball game, a special treat. Joining us in between games, Sequoyah Chiefs, I guess you could say former now, Sequoyah Chiefs fullback Peyton Lucas. Football season's over, Peyton. How you feeling?
Well, I am feeling kind of sad, really sad, in fact, because I've been playing with some of these boys since I was a kid. But I'm more happy because I'm going to college for football and starting new beginnings, and I'm going to see a former Sequoyah player there. I'm just happy I can start something new and continue playing because I love the sport.
So let's go ahead and dive right into it. You chose Birmingham-Southern. You had a couple other opportunities on your plate. Ultimately, what was the deciding factor in going to Birmingham-Southern?
One thing is, when I first got there, I immediately felt like it was home because Baylor kind of showed me around, and I toured the campus, how nice the players were. They showed me around the facilities. Half the time that I was there, that the players showed me around. And when I grow up, I want to go into physical therapy, and southern part of Birmingham is a pretty good place to go, considering the job listings in Birmingham. I can intern there. They have a good major I want to study in. And overall, it came down to just how I felt there, but also how my family felt there. They felt it was comfortable. It's not too far from home, so I can come home on the weekends. And it's ultimately just somewhere I want to be.
Yeah, you and I had talked about what you wanted to study a little bit offline earlier last week when we were down there by the trainer's table. So going to Birmingham-Southern, obviously you mentioned Baylor. Baylor Borden, one of last year's seniors, was a wide receiver on the team. Obviously not the first Sequoyah Chief to go to Birmingham-Southern, but what about this Sequoyah Chiefs program do you think is preparing you guys to go ahead and take that next step and play college ball?
Well, growing up playing football, I've had my own idea of just everything. My dad's been a huge part of me getting into football, and I wouldn't be playing if it weren't for him. I love the sport, but it's also a good percent of my dad. And that transition from middle school into high school, it was a lot different. Freshman year, I had Coach Mann, but I didn't have Teeter yet. And Coach Mann, they kind of welcomed me. They were get ready because the next few years are going to be harder. And once I did move up, freshman year, once I moved to varsity, once they pulled me up, I can tell how serious it was. I can tell how much faster it was in a varsity high school football game than it was in kind of JV freshman. And they ultimately prepared me by staying on top of me with workouts and practice. And it was a big transition, but ultimately it led me to be not only a better football player, but just a better athlete and person in the class and off the field.
Coach Mann getting a lot of shout-outs, not just here doing Chiefs TV, but on the football field as well. He wears a lot of hats for this school. What's the plan for the rest of your senior year?
Well, now that the football season's over, I'm still working out and still staying on top of the grind because I have to go play college football, of course, but mostly it's just stay on top of my grades. I can study a lot more now that I have my afternoons to myself, but I can also work out a lot more. But it's mostly just kick back and relax, wait for this upcoming summer to go to Birmingham-Southern, but I'm definitely going to start coming to a lot more of the events like basketball. I'm running track in the spring, so I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to go to the soccer games. I'm going to go to lacrosse games. I'm going to go to other sports that people watched me play because I know I wanted them to come to my football games, and I definitely want to go to theirs just to show them my appreciation and how much I appreciate them coming to mine. And not only that, but I really do enjoy watching sports. It's just something I've always enjoyed.
Well, that's an invite if you ever want to come up here, especially for this weekend. We got the War Lodge Classic coming up. If you want to come in and sit in the booth with us,
I'm more than happy to. That'd be fun.
That offer is definitely on the table. Switching gears for just 1 second, we're going to have to get going here with the boys game in a minute, but we had a lot of cool moments the last 2 years, and particularly this year, on the football field. What's some of your favorite football moments in your time playing here at Sequoyah?
I would say my senior year, starting off with my senior year, my favorite football moment was, last year, junior year, we lost to Cherokee. And we lost again this year, but I'll tell you something, I loved the drive and competitiveness during that game. I haven't seen anything else like that. And in other games in the season to continue, not all of them, but in other games. And let me tell you, that was probably a game that I can say after I put my heart and soul into that game and in every play. And then when I went home, I passed out. I couldn't even hang out with friends. I wish we would have won it for how much just drive and everything that we put into it, but we didn't. But at the end of the day, I can definitely say that we were the people's champion.
It was one of my favorite games to call. It was definitely a heart attack in the box, especially that fourth quarter. That was an amazing game, and the conclusion, as heartbreaking as it was, and say what you will about the ending, but I definitely felt you guys had their number in that game, and it was a shame that we didn't win it. But Peyton, thank you so much for joining us, man. Hopefully we'll see you in the booth some more. Good luck at Birmingham Southern, and
thank you, of course.
Hopefully the boys pull it out here tonight. So thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me.